We gonna be alright. We gonna be major.
All right, we're live.
We live, baby. We live.
All right, let's get into it. So welcome back to good old More Than a Voice.
Yes, sir.
Justin, you want to introduce
Brandon?
yourself one more time? We want to do some introductions, or we want to skip past those?
I mean, yeah, just in case. You know,
All right,
just in case we got some new viewers to the channel, to the podcast. You know what I'm saying? My name's Justin, also known as Champagne J or J. Dot, either or. People tend to call me both, so you know, I'm a man of many names. But one face.
Oh Lord have mercy. What's up, y'all? I'm Brandon. I'm also known as B Major. I am a studio owner, audio engineer, music producer, owner of Self-Made Studios. This time, you guys can see the logo on the back. I know last time you guys couldn't see it, but this time y'all can see the logo. So yeah, check us out, Self-Made Studios. We're in here. So Justin, I know last week we said that we were gonna have a special guest.
We did?
I think we did.
We did?
Somebody check the record.
I think I remember that.
I think
Yeah.
did. Yeah. So I think we got that. Did we?
I think so.
It's a very, very special person though.
But
very,
I don't see.
Yeah, they're not physically here.
Oh,
Spiritually. I feel you in the air.
I kind of, yeah.
Right.
It's like something like there's an aura. It's strong today, you know?
Touch my shoulders. No. But yeah, we have a special guest today. Our special guest is who's our special guest, Justin?
Chris Edward, I believe. Yeah.
Chris Edward.
Yes, calling in from Washington.
Okay. So go ahead and let Chris in the room. Chris in the room.
Hey, Chris, are you there?
What's poppin'?
What's poppin'?
I feel like I gotta do like a better intro of how I had it planned. Y'all came out with 3 different names. Brandon came out with a whole business bio. Like, that's crazy.
Well, man, let us know who you are, you do, and what you're about, man. Let us know.
Go ahead, talk to the people.
Know.
Shoot. By way of California, about 6'7", 265.
Okay.
I can't wait. Move on. So what's up, bro? I'm Chris Edwards. I own the podcast, run the podcast, Time Out Safe Space. I'm up in Seattle, Washington. Got my master's, working on my second master's.
Yes, sir.
I'm a basketball director and a children's director. So you already know. I don't have any cool nicknames. My Instagram handle is that's Chris. So it's not like J Dot or Champagne J or B Major. It's just Chris. But
Well, shoot, Chris.
I got talents in other places besides my name.
Right. One, I just want to say, if you guys don't know, Chris is our brother. He's our big little brother.
Yeah.
And he will dunk on you for calling him that. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So be careful.
Yeah.
I do want to say, Chris, regardless of anything, just know that we are proud of you. I know that you're not out here with us in Cali, but we are proud of you and everything that you're doing. We know that you're doing amazing things.
Yeah,
so
everything you've accomplished.
I do want to just shout that out real quick. You are that guy.
We
OG
also
Gatorade.
There's one nickname.
There we go.
Yeah, we also want to just say thank you too for setting the time aside to come out here and be on the podcast with us too. We very much appreciate that, and also for the knowledge that you are about to share, which a lot of people may not know about, which is actually a great segue into the topic of today's podcast, which is Juneteenth, which is slowly and steadily approaching.
Man, I don't know about slowly.
You're right. It's in 6 days.
So it's on Sunday. It's crazy. Yeah, so man, Juneteenth has been huge on my heart, especially this year being up in Seattle. First off, I miss my people, so I appreciate y'all big time. It's been hard, not gonna lie, being up here and seeing all y'all together doing fun stuff. Like, we in the group chat and you're like, let's go get food. I'm like, man, I miss Bosco. ain't nothing close up here that has fried chicken and waffles, so I just gotta stuff for a little bit until I come visit.
No Roscoe's, huh?
But
That's tough.
no, bro, no Roscoe's.
Oh, man.
Popeyes is like maybe 30 minutes from me. I think that's the closest Popeyes it does.
You think if we petitioned to get a Roscoe's in Seattle, you think they would?
You think they'd allow it?
I don't think so, honestly.
Oh,
I think it'll be fun.
All right.
But anyways,
that's right.
yeah. So being up here, so I mentioned I have 2 masters. The second master I'm working on is clinical mental health counseling. I'm going to have an emphasis on multicultural counseling and advocacy, which is a mouthful, but essentially the whole point is to create diversity in an equitable way, have inclusion, and one of the best ways to do that is talk about holidays and why they're important. And Juneteenth has been on the up and up, not really for the best of reasons, because I think most of the world, if they do know about Juneteenth, heard about it because of George Floyd.
Right.
But this is like, I'm gonna be straight. Like, I didn't hear about it till like 2018, maybe 2017. And so now that I know about it, it's been like, we got to get the word out. We got to push. So I know that I'm doing something with my local church up here, and then I'm gonna be rolling out a DEI plan for my local team for work as well. Really just trying to get that representation out and like, hey, we're here to stay. We're here to make some noise, and like diversity matters, not just because of because it's like, yeah, we did it. We have a black guy and we have a nation, but it's like welcome the change, welcome the beauty in all of our differences, right? Like it's all about going to someone else, like going home to my wife and her family. Like they give me Filipino. You know what I do? I cook up some soul food. We got collard greens with lumpia. Like it's just so good and so beautiful.
Right.
So that's why we're here. And I hit y'all up because I'm like, y'all got voices. I want to hear your opinion and powerful people. So, just hit my boys up.
Right.
Definitely.
Appreciate that.
Right.
For those that don't know, Chris, do you mind giving a small just explanation of what Juneteenth is? Because I'm kind of in the same boat with you. Of like, I didn't know what Juneteenth was until recently either, around the same timeline, 2018, 2019, and I only found out because of Twitter. And people were trying to do parties and everything, and I was like, "Party for what? Like,
what y'all party for?"
To me before that, it was just a normal Saturday or whatever day it was. So I was like, I was low key confused. But yeah, for those that don't know, do you want to drop a little definition or explanation of what Juneteenth is?
Yeah. So, Civil War, the Emancipation Proclamation came out from Abraham Lincoln. A lot of people thought that this was the time where slaves got free. But so the slaves who fought in the Civil War down the South knew, but like slaves in Texas or further west didn't know that they were freed until Juneteenth, 19. I wish that'd be bad if it was 19. 1865, Juneteenth, 1865, slaves were officially freed. Black and African Americans were now free from bondage, and they have the right to be free, the right to celebrate the 4th of July like the rest of America. And so we want to celebrate this chance because chains are broken, bondage is gone, we are free.
Okay.
I like that. I think it's crazy. I know Justin, you had said, and I know Chris, you had said that you guys had recently found out about June 19th and Juneteenth, and it's always so interesting to me hearing different perspectives and when people have learned about things, and not saying that there's a right time or a wrong time, but it's just always different hearing from different people. Because I know for myself, I mean, thankful for my grandmother, Jeanette Ellis Royston, president of the NAACP chapter in Pomona, California. So shout out to her.
Shout out.
Right, big shout out. Hey, grandma, I see you. All right.
Big time.
No, for real. But I remember growing up with her and being at different events every year. And I remember my first one was one of my first times being around a larger crowd of people like me. And it feels different, you know what I mean? Like, it's a different feeling, but growing up, I always was like, okay, like Juneteenth is coming up, I got to get ready for this. And then growing up in Claremont, and nobody really knew what it was. Damn. So, I mean, it's a whole different atmosphere, and you're like, okay, like, well, nobody else is getting prepared, so, you know, like.
Nope, facts.
Yeah, man.
That's definitely like, what like my perspective was like I never literally maybe heard about it maybe once or twice, but even then that memory is so faint. So like until that time around Twitter when it started to trend and stuff, and I was like Juneteenth, like I was really so confused because I was like, what just happened? Like I promise you this wasn't a thing last year. Right. But I mean, of course it's been a thing, but I had never been really taught Juneteenth or like what it was, and like just people in my family just never really spoke about it too much. Like it wasn't really a big thing like that. So I had no idea. And even now I still, to be honest, like I still kind of don't really understand it fully. Like I get like from what Chris was saying earlier, but aside from that, it's not one of those things that you hear about too often until it starts to roll around again, and then people start to talk about it more. But
no, that's good. So like I know this is going on my podcast too, so for like my listeners, I don't really talk about my story too much. I just kind of let people talk, but this is a good chance for me to kind of talk. Like, so I grew up in Claremont, California with Brandon and Justin. Crazy thing is, we weren't really friends in high school.
Hey, Chris, you talking about?
But come on, bro. We were teammates. We weren't friends. We were teammates. We did not hang out outside of basketball.
Just put me on blast.
Chris, we did. We hung out.
At the Yak. Yeah.
You can continue.
We're going to slide past that awkward moment.
I'm going to keep going.
I'm dead.
But at Claremont, it's very racist school. Like, very bad. In a town that wanted to pretend like they weren't. And so, like, the only things you really heard about this time period was slavery, and then you just had all the kids looking at you in class like, how does slavery feel to you? What's it like? Or bringing the Confederate flag, or talking about, man, I love segregation. We should go back to it. Like, So Juneteenth was never talked about. Any type of celebration for Black excellence, not a thing. And even going to my university at Concordia, kind of similar. Not as bad. They weren't really as overt. I think there was more ignorance. Most people, I was like one of the first of maybe 10 Black people they've ever met in their life. So even then, like, that wasn't really talked about too much. But yeah, it's been, for me, hearing about it, I don't even know too much about my family history. Especially like if we came from Africa or if we were bought as slaves. And that's kind of just been the deal. I'm not too sure. Obviously, there's a really good chance that we came from Africa as slaves. It's kind of the MO of most Black people in America. So when I heard about Juneteenth, the pride that swelled in of like, oh man, I finally have an Independence Day that I want to celebrate. Because I never really understood the 4th of July. Like, it never really hit me like you see a lot of people, a lot of like white Americans, they celebrate, they love this holiday. It's like the grand poobah of holidays. And I was just kind of like, it's cool. Like, they got fireworks, everyone's dressing in flags. Like, that's it. Like, I'll go to the beach, but nothing really special until I heard about Juneteenth. I'm like, oh, so this is the pride they feel about this instance. And it was about being freed from slavery. So it's kind of interesting in that way.
Right. Yeah. So Chris, my question to you is I actually have two questions. One is, what are some ways that we can celebrate a little bit more? I mean, we hear about the barbecues, we hear about the days in the park, and things like that. But what are some ways that that we can get together and celebrate with each other and everyone around us?
That's a great question. So I know I like to what we're going to do is we're going to invite people over, and we're just going to, talk about the day and its significance. I think a really big part of the Black experience and the African-American culture, and I am distinguishing the two for a reason, and we can get into that a little later, but is that we are a culture that's built on suffering. And there's a lot of times where you see there's like, wow, Black people are really resilient. And it's because we had to be. And so a lot of times it's just sitting down with some good food at the barbecue, but just hearing stories, listening to each other's experiences growing up, right? A lot of people may not know that you have anxiety when it comes to seeing police. a lot of people may not know if you have anxiety when you go to a place that's majority white and you're the token, you're the one of 4 or like whatever. But being able to talk about these stories is celebrating in fact, because we are talking about the diversity. We're talking about the freedom, and taking a step forward into that is what's important. Because we can sit and talk and be like, man, diversity would be great, but I don't know what you're feeling. I don't know what you're doing. Like, how do we breed empathy? Hearing the stories of others and feeling it, right? So that's one way. I'm a guy who loves to eat. Like you said, besides barbecues, I think barbecues, cookouts, grill, like anything like that is a fantastic way. But make it soul food. Make it Southern. You're eating this. You may not like it, but this is what we got. We got cornbread, we got greens, we got fried chicken, we got hot wings. Like this is it. And like we got the mac and cheese. Oh, mac and cheese, right? Like,
oh yes.
I think that's super important because that.
Please let me know.
A good mac goes crazy, bro.
I'll put an order in.
I'll put 2. Oh man.
But like, I can't stress enough how important food is to culture, because there's history to it. Like, why do we eat collard greens? Because it's easy, it's cheap, and it was what was left. Why are chitlins the big thing? Because when the slave masters had the pig, what did they leave left over? Hooves, snout, and pig intestines. So what did they eat? They ate the pig intestines. Why? Because it had the most nutrients. So it's like, there's history in the food. There's history in why we eat the way we eat. And it's not because it tastes good. We just happen to add some seasoning because we had to, because you're eating pig intestines, bro. You're eating you're eating lettuce off the ground. So collard greens, you have to eat well. You have to spice it up. You have to season it, because this is what we had. So that's why I think it's important. And when you talk about food, you need to talk about like what it really means to eat this. It's not just because it tastes good, because we all know it tastes good, but it's about why did we have to eat this? We weren't the rich ones who got to eat the, pork chops that were under seasoned because they don't know how to season, right? Like, we didn't eat that. But what we did, we ate what we ate, and we turned it into something incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I might have to pass on the chitlins, but yeah,
I'm a hard pass. I'm gonna make a right turn.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna pass too, but
yeah, I'm gonna double up on the greens though.
right. You got to substitute. Okay. Oh man, yeah. Chris, I think you brought up definitely a great point, and that's definitely some ways to celebrate. I think growing up for myself, I think the biggest thing that I've understood with celebrating Juneteenth is that a lot of it is about bringing awareness to what it really is. And that's because a lot of us don't really know. Right. So every event that I've been to, there's been an educational factor involved. And which is, I appreciate, which is like, a lot of it is, can be life-changing. Yeah. So you learn about the foods, you learn about the culture, you learn about where we came from, everything like that. So I think becoming more aware is a part of our celebration. And becoming more aware of ourselves and letting other cultures become more aware of who we are and things like that is a part of our celebration, and making other people aware, is also huge. So definitely. Yeah.
Well, and I love that. And June 19th and June 20th are now like official Juneteenth holidays. June 20th is Juneteenth observed. So all the businesses that wanted to close because of the holiday can now get that extra day. So we're even giving that little hey, it's like a Christmas or Easter bonus. Yeah. Like the holiday is actually now pushing a little bit further and further, which I absolutely love. Yeah. And I hope that we keep pushing. I hope that we keep getting awareness to a point where it's like, this is not just a federal holiday, it's a national holiday. Yeah. We have Juneteenth off. Yeah. And I think it can be done. And I think it will be maybe in a decade. The way our country goes, but it's still something that could be done.
Yeah. Chris, my other question is to go right along with the awareness. What are some ways that we can bring awareness, or that we can gain our own awareness about Juneteenth, about ourselves and things like that?
Well, for the non-Black listeners, I think the best way to not do this is don't go to your local Black person and just ask them, hey, what does Juneteenth mean to you? And I say that as a joke, but I'm also dead serious. Like, it's exhausting to just constantly hear like, hey, what is this holiday? What does this mean to you? Like, explain, like, teach me. Like, I feel like we do a lot of teaching and people don't do enough research. Look it up. Google is not new. It's very good. It's very useful. So you should Google. You should go to events that are hosted, because I'm pretty sure every major city is going to be hosting something. Right. Find your local NAACP chapter. Find the Black Lives Matter chapter. See what events they're putting on. Go to those.
Yeah.
Start posting, like, and for the Black folks, start posting about it. Tell a little bit of like why this is important to you. Show why you celebrate. Hashtag. Reels. Honestly, reels are probably better than hashtags nowadays. Like, these are it takes an educational, but it takes a step out too, and it requires people to be a little uncomfortable.
Right.
And that's why, like, when it comes to stuff like this, I think when we hear tragedies strike, it's a lot of people who reach out to you like, man, I'm sorry, I know you're hurting, I'm hurting for you, instead of like, I'm hurting with you. Like, why does Juneteenth matter to me? Why does Juneteenth matter to you, instead of like, why does Juneteenth matter to us? Like that little shift in language shows that we're not really doing this alone, that we do have people who are here, who are trying to learn, who are trying to grow with us. Right. So the moment we keep isolating with you, I, is the moment America is going to continue to be divided. But if we want to come together, we have to change it to we. We have to change it to us. And that's a big awareness factor of like, where's your language when talking about this holiday? It's like, oh yeah, how are you celebrating? Not like, how are we going to celebrate? How do we get together? And even though you and I are like, we're far, and I'm in Seattle, y'all are in Cali, it still doesn't change the fact that like, we're still right here. We're talking about it. We're making this podcast so we can develop and bring out awareness for it.
Yep. I think that's because I was going to say one of the biggest things I think as we continue to like move on throughout the years, right, and how we want this holiday and recognition to continue to grow is to be as inclusive with those that want to be a part of it as possible. Right. Because sometimes, well, not sometimes, but I feel like with being inclusive, that's how you're going to get people to really understand and get the full picture of the whole meaning of the holiday and everything like that. And like how Brandon was saying, like when they would have the events, they would have that educational piece. And like, I feel like that's the best part, right? Or best way for them to get that information, that knowledge that they may be wanting to ask us about or just have questions about. Like that's the best time. And like going out to those events and Chris, like you said, like finding your local Black Lives Matter or NAACP events or chapters or charters, and like I said, going out to those events and just educating yourself are some of the best ways to get the information like firsthand, because it's right there in front of you.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think it just takes some time. I think the inclusivity part is huge. I know that both NAACP and Black Lives Matter, both of them have been seen as a very divisive organization. And even this holiday could be seen as divisive, but I think that this is a chance for us to step out in love and be like, yo, come join us. Like, I know it's a joke on Black Truth, like, y'all be inviting everybody to the barbecue, but this is the opportunity to actually invite us to the barbecue.
Right.
Like, this is the moment.
We invite y'all for a reason.
We might be, that's right, exactly. Like, we might be the first exposure to people ever hearing about Juneteenth.
Man.
And for me, I think that's incredible.
I think that's outrageous.
It's just crazy because I know for me, I bring it up to my local community and to my church that I go to. People are like, I never heard of this. And I'm like, well, let me tell you. I'm not going to be mad at you for not hearing, because I've only known it about 4 years.
Right.
So like, let me tell you about what I know. And let's work on this together. Let's grow this community.
Yeah. I say for anyone listening now, if this is one of your first times or hearing about Juneteenth, or you don't know much about it, research. I mean,
Google it.
Right.
Just find out what you can. And
right. If you have questions, shoot them to us, and we'll do our best and do our research at the same time. Like, I think this is growth, especially growth like this, is a group effort, and we're here to do it together.
Right.
We're here to help bring awareness, and we're here to gain our own awareness at the same time.
Absolutely.
So if this is your first time, or if you don't know anything about it, or if you don't know much, or if you want to know more, anything.
Like, shoot your questions down in the comments.
Right. Do your research.
DM us on Instagram,
everything.
and even if we don't know the answer, we'll do our best to point you in the best direction to find out that answer on whatever that question may be.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially because we'll be having mixed audiences too. Like, Google your local NAACP, Black Lives Matter. Like, whether it's the IE, whether it's Kirkland, whether it's Eastside, like, no matter what, I know there's one.
Definitely.
I know they're out there.
Honestly, we'll
so
go
this is a great
ahead
time.
and leave some links down in the descriptions and in the chats to certain areas where you can gain more knowledge and more information.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Just to help spread awareness. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, well,
yeah, Chris, any
any
last
thoughts?
words?
Anything you want to say?
Questions for us? Or
Right.
Man, how are y'all celebrating?
Oh man. I'm actually going out with, there's a Pomona African American Alliance, and they're doing something on the 20th, if I remember correctly. And they'll be in downtown Pomona, doing a whole caravan through downtown Pomona. So Self-Made Studios will actually be with them, going as a group.
Let's go.
And as you know, and we'll be out there. We'll be helping celebrate, and we'll be helping bring awareness to what's going on.
Let's go.
Yeah, Justin will be there with me too.
Yeah, I will actually be there.
Right. So it should be a good time. Yeah. So
if you're in the area, come out.
Right, Chris.
Come out and support.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My bad. Not you.
I got my own
Chris, if
plans.
you're down here, bro, come out. We'll go to Roscoe's
Yeah,
too.
I got you guys.
We'll get you some good food.
Say less.
Definitely.
But yeah, to those
there.
that are in the Pomona area, please pull up, support, and show out.
Right. I don't know if we'll post this after or before, but
Great.
sure know there.
I would say, like, my last words for anyone who is listening and is confused or is worried or may feel a little bit of shame or guilt. This isn't meant to make you feel guilty. This isn't meant to make you feel shame. It's meant to make you feel uncomfortable, because like the only way we're gonna grow is to be uncomfortable. And like Justin and Brandon know, you'll never grow if you stay in the comfort zone. You've got to step out.
Comfort is the enemy of
step out
progress.
into that area. Exactly. So I hope that this was convicting, but not condemning. I know that we want to step out in love, and we do want to be inclusive, but at the same time, like, you got to recognize we're tired. And we're tired of kind of having to push a little bit harder for people to recognize, and this is a chance where we can just be outright and be loud. And so take this with love, but take it hard, and like make sure it's gonna hurt. But we want to see this holiday grow. We want to see this recognition, just because we want to see America truly be diverse, like we set out to be. If we want freedom, it really means freedom for all, not just for those who choose.
Definitely. Well, thank you for your words, Chris.
Yes. Thank you.
To all of our viewers, all of our listeners, like Chris said, take your time.
Appreciate y'all.
Let's do this together.
Yeah.
And with that, we are going to sign off.
I will say,
on
Spotify, be sure to check out the Safe Space podcast.
Yes.
Safe Space podcast.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Justin. And don't forget to check us out on Spotify,
Absolutely.
YouTube, everything too. More Than a Voice. We're out there. We're with you guys. And
Yes, sir.
we'll see you guys next time.
Yep.